Hi everybody, this is part 2 of my live chat Q&A. I wasn't able to see the comments live on the first one, but I may have figured out a remedy. So please, once you're on, try to leave a comment. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it, but I'm going to open my laptop, which is really annoying that I even have to do this. And I might be able to see your comments on there. So sometimes you gotta improvise in life. So that's what we're doing, is improvising, okay? If you're leaving comments, I can't see them yet, so keep trying. I'm logging on to my Arthritis Ashley Facebook page from my laptop, and hopefully I will be able to see your comments there and answer them there. It might be weird watching myself live on my laptop while I talk to you guys. Let me see if this works. If you're leaving comments right now, I can't see you. I don't know why this is happening. It happened last time too, and but prior to that I did several live chats where it never happened once. So okay, so I'm able to see your comments on my computer. So I'm gonna go back to the first part of the chat and answer your questions in order. So thank you for your patience. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm seeing them all now online. So Patrice asked me, do you find it difficult to remain positive when you have so many health hurdles? How do you keep positive? My dog's answering for me. My goodness, bless you, Brutus. So that's one way I stay positive, is my pets. Sounds weird, but I think that animals provide unconditional love, and they give me a reason to get out of bed even on the bad days. I always have to get up to take care of them. So even if I'm feeling like crap, they give me something to look forward to, and I know that I need to care for them, so that's one way. They help me stay positive. And then, of course, my family is awesome, all of them. I'm very close to my family. I'm super family-oriented, and they are my rock. My husband, my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles and cousins. I have wonderful friends. I am so blessed with wonderful friends, and I have a great support system. I go to church. I mean, I'm not super churchy. I was raised Catholic, and I'm kind of like a Catholic hybrid now. Like, I sometimes still go to Catholic church, but I also belong to a United Methodist church. So I'm kind of just non-denominational Christian. I just feel that I have my own relationship with God and my own faith, and yeah, I don't subscribe to all the politics and dogma that sometimes comes with organized religion, but I am a very, very faithful person, one of the most faithful people that I know, really. But my faith isn't just defined just by religion. So that helps me stay positive, though, my faith, and prayer and meditation. Writing helps me stay positive. It gives me a sense of purpose and a creative outlet. Advocacy work helps me stay positive because I know I'm advocating for an important cause, and that gives me a sense of purpose as well. Brutus, please stop. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry guys. And then volunteer work actually helps me stay positive because I have found that doing charity work and giving back to others and serving others is a wonderful way to keep your mind off of your own problems and to broaden your focus in life and expand your thinking and expand your circle and broaden your horizons to realize that everybody has problems, and the world is, come here, the world is so much bigger than just what you're dealing with alone. And I think sometimes volunteering and charity work helps you, like I said, focus on other issues instead of only dwelling on your health issues all the time. And so I'm involved with some service organizations. I do some volunteer work. I have worked with the Arthritis Foundation. I've done volunteer work for the leukemia. Guys, please stop! Oh my goodness, I might have to switch rooms. This chat is just not working out today. Come here, Maggie, come here. Sorry. So I've done volunteer work with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, the American Cancer Society, the Arthritis Foundation, the American College of Rheumatology. I'm a member of the Lions Club, and I'm a board member for Werewolf, which is an animal nonprofit. And I donate to a lot of causes like Children's Hospital and many others. And I'm involved with the Autoimmune Registry. That's a health nonprofit that's trying to become like a hub for data and research relating to autoimmune diseases. So yeah, so I try to stay busy and productive and live as normal and fulfilling a life as possible and maintain a normal social life and stay faithful and rely on my family and friends and my pets when I need a little pick-me-up. And to be honest with you, all of you guys help me stay positive too. Interacting with everyone on here, it's really a great way to cope sometimes, and so is my writing. Honestly, writing's helped me through a lot, and so is fashion, believe it or not, which is something that I have really been thinking about writing about more. My interest in fashion and how it has helped me to cope with medical problems. Louise asked, what do I think of probiotics live yogurt while taking methotrexate and Cimzia? Well, Louise, I actually went to nutrition school to be a holistic health coach. So I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. This is on top of my bachelor's degree. It was a postgraduate program, and I went for 1 year and earned a certificate in health coaching and nutrition. And we talked a lot about this, food is medicine. And I believe that a lot of probiotics and things like that are very helpful because, you know, especially if you're on like an antibiotic or a drug that messes with your immune system, you want to replenish the good bacteria. And I think that's what probiotics and live yogurts do. So I'm not opposed to them. I think that with anything, you have to find what works for you. And, you know, as long as your doctor is cool with you eating a certain food or taking a certain supplement, then I say go for it. As my rheumatologist said yesterday, anything that's going to help me feel better, he's fine with. As long as it's safe and legal and not hurting anybody, then, you know. So I would say if you think probiotics and yogurt help you, then by all means go for it. I have heard people have great success with them. They do have a lot of really healthful properties that can help with inflammation, and there is a theory out there that RA can also be a little bit related to like gut health and bacterial overgrowth and yeast and things like that. So eating that healthy, good live yogurts and live cultures and probiotics could be really helpful. I don't want to give out medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a integrative nutrition health coach, but I would say in my non-professional, or I should say non-medical professional opinion, that it's good for you as long as you're not like allergic to it or anything like that. I've heard a lot of people that do it. In fact, there was someone on this Arthritis Ashley page the other day who said that they have felt so much better since eating yogurt every morning. So it's worth a try. Donna asked me, have I ever gotten headaches from methotrexate? Yes, Donna, I did. I don't take it anymore. I had a lot of side effects from methotrexate. My hair got really thin and brittle. My nails got really brittle, and I was always nauseous. And yes, I did get a lot of headaches. I felt like I had a hangover for like 2 or 3 days after taking methotrexate. I mean, I know it's a good effective drug, but it is harsh, you know, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot you can do about the headaches and the hangover feeling from methotrexate. Sometimes certain supplements and vitamins can help improve those symptoms, so that's something to consider and talk to your doctor about. Hi Heather, you asked also what meds I was on. We already addressed that, so if you didn't hear it, let me know, and I will type out an answer to that at the end here when we're off. But yeah, I did already address that. Okay, Mike Andrea Wright said, I like your eyebrows. Thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. It's really funny because you're not the first person that has said you like my eyebrows. So yeah, I guess I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. I I actually am obsessed with taking care of my eyebrows, so it actually means more than you would know. Okay, so that was all the questions on the first part of the live chat. Now, let's see if I can see some of the questions for this one. I see that we have some. So let me just refresh on my laptop here. Okay, and I will get to your questions, guys. I'm coming. My pug is snoring out loud and she's wide awake. Let me see. It's taking me a second, sorry. Okay. Lots of questions. Okay. So yeah, we are talking again about the methotrexate headaches. Yes, I got them when I was on it, and I know a lot of people get them, so you are not alone with that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading another question. It's from someone in the UK, so it's really late for her. So I will address your question now. Just let me find it again. Louise wanted to know, she said it's nearly midnight here in the UK. She asked, what is my opinion / understanding of being on biologics and DMARDs, such as Cimzia and methotrexate? And if probiotic yogurt drinks, live or good bacteria should be avoided, how good are they to people like us? So that's something we kind of addressed. I just kind of addressed a little bit ago. I think you asked, Louise, maybe the same question on the first one. I just took a minute to see it. I don't think that probiotics and the live good bacteria in those types of drinks are harmful to people with autoimmune conditions or who are immune suppressed. My gut instinct wouldn't be that they are contraindicated in any way. I've never heard of a contraindication. The probiotics are supposed to be very, very healthy, and they are supposed to replenish the good bacteria in your gut, and increasing gut health is really important for people with autoimmune diseases. I would think, and I don't know this for sure because I'm not a doctor or a licensed dietitian, but I would think that they would be good for us because a lot of those medications actually strip you of good bacteria, and I think that anything you can do to boost your gut health and boost your immunity, I think that would be good. So maybe ask your doctor. I mean, your doctor would be the best person to ask a question like that. You could also consult like a pharmacist maybe, or a licensed nutrition, like a registered dietitian or a nutritionist or a nurse. Like I said, I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, but I'm not a medical professional, so I can't really speak to that in terms that would be 100% factual. I'm just giving my personal opinion. That would be that those types of foods and drinks are perfectly fine unless you have personally some kind of allergy or intolerance to them. I don't see why they would be harmful, put it that way. Okay. Let's see. D said, good for you, awesome. Sorry, I don't know what that's in reference to, because like I said, it's not showing up live. Okay, and then, let's see. And then Donna said, I'm sorry, we already addressed that, the headaches. Ken said, hi Ashley, bad day today. Got up this morning, took my meds, felt really crummy, went back to bed and got up at 5:30 p.m. I feel like I'm working third shift, up all night and sleep all day. Unfortunately, Ken, I think a lot of us have been there, and it's really hard to get on a good, proper sleep schedule and practice good sleep hygiene whenever you're dealing with chronic pain and chronic illness. You know, some doctors are actually willing to prescribe RA and chronic pain patients with drugs that are for sleep disorders, like I think it's called sleep shift disorder. It's usually a neurologist would give it, and it's for people who have kind of the opposite sleep schedule of everybody else, and people that struggle with maintaining that sleep schedule and the proper sleep cycles. I'm not sure. I'm blanking on what the disorder is called. Shift work disorder, sleep shift disorder, something like that. But at any rate, some people with multiple sclerosis and even RA and other conditions get on this medication from a neurologist. That is usually for people who work odd shifts to try to regulate their sleep. It's not a sleeping pill. It's something just to help you get in better sleep patterns, and maybe a byproduct, or I should say not a byproduct, but maybe a beneficial side effect to it is it might help with pain. You can always ask your doctor about that. Maybe it's called shift work disorder. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on what the disorder is, but there is a medication that can help you get in a better sleep pattern, and it's sometimes prescribed to people with MS, but it can also be used for RA and some other things like that. Okay, trying to see if there's any other questions. This is driving me crazy that I can't see these questions on my phone where I'm doing the chat. I have to just keep refreshing on my laptop, and it's just not the way it should be. That's not how it's supposed to be. So that's a little bit frustrating, and I apologize. I'd really like to figure out why this keeps happening lately with my chats. It looks like some of the comments disappeared too. Let's see. Oh, okay. So back on the first chat, someone was asking me about stem cell. So hold on one second. I'm going to let my dogs outside. My pug is patiently waiting by the door to be let out. And, yeah, so let's see. Okay, guys, we're going to go outside. 1 second. Oh my goodness, the joys of being a dog owner times 3. Okay. So stem cell. Well, I'm not an expert on it. I don't want to proclaim to have this great wealth of knowledge, but here's what I do know. It's not for everybody. It's very expensive, or I shouldn't say very expensive, but it's pretty expensive. It's costly. Insurance usually doesn't cover it, so typically you're paying out of pocket. But a lot of places that offer stem cell therapies do have patient assistance programs, payment plans, financing. A lot of places that do it take care credit, or you can use a credit card. Some of them you can use your flex spending account. One of the most important things about it is quality. You want to be careful where you're going, what their track record is with stem cell therapy, how good they are, what is their success rate, and the experience that they've had with stem cell, because there's a lot of places out there now that are advertising stem cell therapy, and I'm sorry, but it is not the same thing that I'm talking about. Like anything, you get what you pay for, and just bear in mind that I'll call it real stem cell, can be anywhere from $4,000 to like almost $10,000 a joint. Okay, that's per joint. So if there's a place down the street that's like a weight loss clinic and a chiropractor, and maybe they do some physical therapy, and they're offering you like 10 stem cell injections for $250, that's not what we're talking about here. I don't proclaim to really fully know about the full spectrum of it and like where these things differ science-wise, but those injections that like might be on Groupon, or that your local like pain management place or chiropractor or weight loss center offer for like under $500 or under even $800, those aren't the same thing as like the full out like real stem cell procedures that people go through. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what it is, but those are basically shots that they're giving, and I think it's synthetic, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, because again, I don't know for sure. I just know that if something that's proven and good and done by a reputable hospital or a reputable doctor is, you know, over $4,000 per joint, and there's somewhere else that you can get somewhat locally that's, you know, they offer a bunch of other services and it's only like a few $100, and I just know that there's some kind of discrepancy there, and that if I'm putting something in my body like that, I want the real one. I want the real deal. I don't want some knockoff thing. I think some of these places are trying to capitalize on kind of the trend, or the buzziness, the buzz surrounding stem cell therapy, and I don't think that's fair to patients. Hold on one second, sorry. Come here, guys. Brutus, come here. Come on, Maggie, come here. Come on, Pip. Okay. So yeah, I don't think that that's like fair when places are doing things like that. So just, I would say be careful, do your homework. A wonderful person to talk to about her stem cell therapy experience is Julie Cerrone or Cerrone. I'm sorry, Julie. I never know if your last name is pronounced Cerrone or Cerrone, but Julie, she blogs for her blog is it's just a bad day, not a bad life. Again, it's just a bad day, not a bad life. She had Regenix stem cell therapy for a vascular necrosis. She also has psoriatic arthritis. She went from walking with crutches to not needing her crutches. She flew to, I believe, Colorado, had it done. It's a pretty big procedure. I think it involves, taking out some of your bone marrow, and she's the person to talk to, not me. Like I said, I haven't even gone to my consultation yet. I haven't gone to the seminar yet. I don't want to proclaim to be a stem cell expert, but Julie has a wonderful story, and I believe is a brand ambassador for one of the stem cell companies, and she's had a wonderful first-person experience with a lot of success. She would be the person to talk to about that. And once I go to the seminar and once I go to my consultation, I will be happy to share my experience and my knowledge with you guys. But right now, all I can really share is that there's some scams out there, and there's some misconceptions out there about what stem cell therapy actually is. So do your homework, do your research, talk to people that have had it done. And just remember that, like anything, sometimes it is a case of you get what you pay for. And so if something seems too good to be true, like you're getting 10 stem cell injections for $200, then that's probably, not that $200 isn't a lot of money, but when you know how much a big, more complicated stem cell procedure at a reputable hospital costs, when you then hear that you can get like 10 injections for $200, then that $200 doesn't seem like a lot. Just knowing what it should cost, and then knowing what some of these scammy type places charge, you want to be erring on the side of caution when it comes to stuff like this. And it's not cheap, so you really shouldn't fall for scams or anything like that where it is cheap, or is even in the realm of possibility of it being cheap, because unfortunately it's an expensive procedure. It's not yet covered by health insurance companies. It is a really big out-of-pocket expense. I probably won't be able to get it done because I know how much it costs. But I think I would rather not have it done than risk going to the weight loss center that's down the street and having them inject me with God knows what and tell me it's stem cells. So Yeah, it's a big procedure. It's not something little. Talk to Julie, check out her blog, check out her story. She's the one that you want to talk to about stem cell. But I certainly will let you guys know how my consultation goes and like what I learn at the seminar once I go there. So let me see if I got any other questions on my Arthritis Ashley Facebook page. Because again, it's not working. I can't see it. Usually when I film these live chats, other than the past two times, I've been able to see your questions and comments. But unfortunately today and the last time, not able to see your questions live. So I really feel bad that maybe some of you aren't going to get your questions answered. So what I'll do is, after this is done, I will go back and whoops, sorry, I dropped my phone. I will go back and answer all of your questions on Facebook. I will type out answers for those who I didn't answer on here. I keep laughing at the "I like your eyebrows" comment. That made my night. Well, I think that I've addressed all the questions so far. Did I miss anyone's questions? If I did, please let me know. Again, I'm happy to answer whatever your questions are until I get any more questions. Oh, you're welcome, Louise. Louise said thank you. You're welcome, Louise. And Ken, I'm sorry that you have issues with methotrexate too. I think everyone does, unfortunately. It's a great drug. I mean, it works very well, but you definitely get that hangover feeling from it. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome, Katie. Again, I'm only seeing these comments sporadically, so if I miss any comments, I will go back and answer them. Mike, or Andrea, right? I'm sorry. She said, do you think you will ever go back to an all-natural holistic approach for your conditions? I thought you had told me before that you felt really good when you'd done that. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, you're not wrong. And this will probably be the final question I'll take for tonight. But before I answer, I just want to say you can go ahead and continue to leave me questions, and I will type back tonight. I will answer all of your questions on Facebook. Sorry about my hoodie and my computer in the background. A little messy right now. So yeah, I did do well with the all-natural holistic approach. I did wonderfully. I'm not gonna lie. I was in remission for almost 2 years, maybe over 2 years. It makes me sad to talk about it because I really regret not staying on that holistic regimen. Yeah, so it started in 2012. I was having, sorry, there's like a hair stuck to my lip. That's the problem with long hair and static. Anyway, in 2012, I was on Remicade and then Humira and then Orencia all in a row, and I continually had bad reactions to all of them, similar to the reactions I've had recently. And no doctors could figure out what was wrong with me. They all thought I had carcinoid syndrome, pheochromocytoma, or mastocytosis. So when I tested negative for all those things, they kind of threw up their hands in the air and just, hey, we don't know what to do with you. You're a zebra. You're an anomaly. You're a complex, complicated case. And they kind of just were done with me. They washed their hands of me. And I was terrified to go back on an RA med, which, trust me, when you're hospitalized 3 times for 3 to 5 days, you know, each time, and you're at the ER like every other night, literally almost every other night, yeah, you'd be scared too. So I was at my wit's end, and someone here on Facebook told me to check out a translational medicine doctor in Washington, D.C. I wasn't sure what that was, but I looked up translational medicine and my interest was piqued. It's kind of a whole body approach to medicine, and instead of fitting you in a little box based on just your diagnosis, they actually consider all of your symptoms, all of your labs, and they even consider labs that are in the normal range but are kind of close to being out of the normal range, and they look at that too, and if it fits your symptoms, they treat it. Unfortunately, this doctor was in Washington, D.C., so I had to travel to go see him. He didn't take medical insurance, so again, it was expensive. I had to pay for it all out of pocket. But it was life-changing. He put me on a supplement called Baluch lumbrokinase, and a ton of other supplements, and I was almost all holistic, almost all natural. I did take a really low dose of a thyroid medication because my thyroid was borderline, and I did Botox for migraine. I get those injections every 90 days for my migraines, and I would occasionally take, a migraine med if I was getting a bad one. But other than that, all natural, all holistic. It was wonderful. I literally worked out every single day, sometimes twice a day, and I'm talking high intensity interval training. I'm talking kettlebell competitions. I competed in a kettlebell competition. Kettlebells are not easy. The lightest one's like 20 pounds, and for someone with RA, swinging those above your head and doing all this other crazy stuff, doing presses with them, I mean, that's tough. And I did it, and I even graduated to higher weights. And I was able to not keep up with everyone in the class, but I did okay. I held my own. So I was doing the kettlebell gym. I was doing water aerobics. I was taking Zumba classes like a couple times a week. Bike riding like 22 miles. Really feeling great. So you're probably wondering why I went off this med. I'm wondering too. Or I should say why I went off this treatment plan. Well, I wondered that as well. And the answer, simply put, was fear. And I'll explain that. I was in remission. I was in, some people argue that remission in RA is not a thing. It's a myth. There's a lot of dissenting opinions out there about whether or not someone with RA can go into remission. But for all intents and purposes, I was in remission. And keep in mind, I have juvenile idiopathic arthritis. Kids with JA can go into remission. Now, usually, a juvenile arthritis patient will go into remission by the age of 18, if not by the age of 21. Sometimes they don't. Usually in those cases, they just have it forever, and sometimes it evolves into adult RA. But there was a chance that my JIA was just going into remission. All of my labs were normal. My pain levels were virtually gone. I mean, I had muscle spasms. I sometimes had muscle pain. I still got migraines. But RA flares were like unheard of. No swelling in my joints, nothing. Able to exercise, like I said, every day, sometimes twice a day. Like legitimately, there were times I would exercise twice a day or spend 2 hours plus at the gym. I mean, not even kidding. Which is crazy, okay? Because 2 days ago I couldn't walk and I was laying on my couch crying and yelling swear words, which is very out of character for me, by the way. Not the crying, I cry a lot, but the swear words are out of character. At any rate, I was doing great, and my doctors were amazed. Like, my rheumatologist couldn't believe that after 20 plus years, or however many, well, it wouldn't have been 20 at that time, but say at 15 plus years, all my labs were normal. Everything. I'm talking even rheumatoid factor. I don't know how suddenly that's normal, but everything was normal. And consistently normal. And like I said, this is for like a period of 2 years. Upon exam, this is no evidence of active RA. Come here, Brutus. And yeah, so I get invited to speak at a juvenile arthritis family day event sponsored by the Arthritis Foundation, and was at the Children's Museum. Sorry, my dog's nosing my phone. Anyway, so I'm up there speaking and whatever, and there was a pediatric rheumatologist who gave a presentation afterward. So I decided to stay. I had nothing else to do that day, and I'm, like I said in my first part of my chat, I'm very interested in science and medicine and human anatomy and biology and everything like that. So I always want to know what the latest, greatest research is, and what the newest treatments are and how they work. So I decided to listen to her presentation, and I expected it to kind of be lighthearted, like how to cope with juvenile arthritis, similar to what I had done. But this wasn't an inspirational, kind of self-helpy, like motivational speech. This was science, and she gave a presentation, and the presentation talked about how important it is to be on an RA medication, because if you're not taking an RA med, even if you feel well, or I should say JA, not RA, because she was talking about juvenile arthritis. She was saying even if you feel well and you're not feeling symptoms, there could still be lots of inflammation and damage, going on inside of your body. Your immune system could still be out of whack and blah, blah, blah. And basically, the part of her speech that scared me was she said, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but she said, if you live with an autoimmune disease like juvenile arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or whatever, and you're not controlling it with medications, then you're putting your immune system, you're making your immune system get confused and thrown out of whack, and you're putting yourself at a very high risk for cancer. She was basically talking about how uncontrolled autoimmune disease can turn into cancer. And it was so matter of fact, and the way she presented it it made so much sense. I, being an intellectual person, couldn't sit there and look at what she was presenting me, the science and the facts behind it. I couldn't deny it, because the way she described it and the numbers she presented and the figures she showed, diagrams of the cells and the immune system, it made perfect sense. What she was saying made perfect sense. And I was like, crap, I think I'm doing good for my body by not being on these toxic drugs, and I'm feeling great, but I am putting myself at an even higher risk for cancer. I already know that people with autoimmune diseases are at a higher risk than the general population, especially people with celiac disease, which I also have in addition to RA, JA. So now I'm thinking, by not being on a medication, even though I feel great and even though my labs are normal, am I putting myself in danger, And I kind of spoke to her briefly afterwards and explained my situation, and she was kind of like, I'm not your doctor, so I can't really give you medical advice, and so on. But she sent me a link to her presentation, and I looked at it again when I got home, and it just made sense to me, and I have to admit I was kind of scared. So I did some research about what would be the best drug for me to go back on, and maybe I should have stuck with this one. So what happened was I found that Rituxan would be a good choice for me. A lot of people with juvenile idiopathic arthritis have great success with Rituxan. People with lupus overlap syndrome, which I was also diagnosed with before, have good success with Rituxan, and it has fairly decent results in people with RA. Plus, it's a cancer medication. It's a chemotherapy drug. So, in my mind, I'm like, well, this is great, because it'll help, treat my autoimmune conditions, and since it's a cancer drug, it probably will keep cancer away if that's a concern. So I'm like, if I'm going to go back on a med, I'm going to go on one that's going to really do its job. And so I was convinced about Rituxan. Well, I got 2 infusions of it, and actually, compared to the reactions I've had with the anti-TNFs and even methotrexate, the side effects were pretty minimal in hindsight. They were flu-like symptoms. It was kind of like the methotrexate hangover, a little bit amplified. But then I got a bill in the mail for $30,000. Actually, 2 of them. And that was kind of what sealed the deal for me that I'm not taking this medication anymore. It was a huge fight with my insurance company. They eventually paid it. It had to do with them writing, JIA instead of RA, whatever. And at the time also, in addition to those 2 $30,000 bills, that'll open your eyes. In addition to that, it felt so drastic to go from this natural, holistic, homeopathic, kind of nutrition-based, fitness-based lifestyle, feeling great, to feeling kind of groggy and flu-like after the Rituxan. I would rather have felt the same as I did before the Rituxan when I was in remission, I wish I felt like that all the time. I wish I felt like that now. But if I had to pick between the Rituxan side effects and the side effects that I have had with Remicade and Enbrel and these other anti-TNF drugs, then I would take the Rituxan side effects. So do I think it was a mistake going off my all-natural, or I should say mostly natural regimen? Maybe. It may be. It may have been a mistake. But I tried to do it again recently, and it was a no. It was a no-go. I never got back into remission. I didn't do it as diligently as I had under the care of my translational doctor. And that was in part because my OA has gotten worse. So the structural joint damage in my foot and my knee have gotten worse. And so I have not been exercising. I have to admit that I haven't been exercising. And that is because even though my RA is like okay, my OA and the structural damage and destruction that's been caused by the years of active RA have finally caught up to me. That's caught up to me as I age. And I think exercise was a crucial component to why I went into remission, and my not having been able to really exercise good in like a year. That I think is part of why trying to go off all my meds again hasn't quite worked. I also haven't been as strict with the diet. I have to admit that too. And I haven't been going to see the doctor in DC because it's inconvenient, it's expensive, it's like a 5-hour drive each way. I have to get a hotel. Everything is out of pocket. That's that could be a $2,000 visit. And that's a lot, just like stem cells a lot. But again, it's like you get what you pay for. But I'm kind of getting sick of my whole life being based around medical stuff and spending so much money on medical stuff. So yeah, I kind of regret ever going off my holistic regimen. I kind of wish I could get back to that. I mean, I definitely wish that I could get back to that place of remission. But I do think that everything happens for a reason, and I do think that probably I have to be on some kind of RA med. I'm just trying to figure out what the safest one is going to be for me in my individual journey, which is something I talked about earlier, is that we're all different. So, we each have to try to find what is going to work best for us. So that's where I'm at right now. I haven't been able to see any other comments since I answered that last question, so I will answer you all individually on the computer later or from my phone later. I will type out answers to you all. But before I go, I want to plug a couple of things, of course. I got to turn off the heating thing on my oven. Sorry, 1 second. Let's see. Sorry guys, you got a close up of my eye there. So yeah, before I go, I just want to tell you to check out my recent Healthline articles. I have done recent ones about fashion for people with pain and arthritis. It's really exciting. It's about mostly about this fashion designer named Michael Kaluva of Tumblr and Tipsy. He shows at New York Fashion Week. He helped start Kendall Jenner's modeling career. He's really awesome. So that's on Healthline. There's been articles about gender bias in pain management in the healthcare system, which would be a good read today for International Women's Day. I did a piece about the opioid epidemic and about the subtle differences and genetic similarities between RA and JIA. I'm also working with the autoimmune registry still. It's an awesome initiative, and we are trying to gather data and statistics on autoimmune diseases, but we need you guys to fill out a free, safe, simple, secure, easy little survey on the website so that we can get the numbers to help further research and get better prevalent statistics on autoimmune diseases in order to better establish diagnostic criteria, shorten the diagnosis times, and create more awareness and funding for autoimmune research. So check that out, Autoimmune Registry. We are on Facebook and Twitter and coming soon to Instagram. And you can also visit the website and fill out the free survey to join the registry at autoimmuneregistry.org. Again, that's autoimmuneregistry.org. What else? If you're into animals like I am, check out werewolf.org. I'm a board member. It's WEARWOOF.org. And check out the Lions Club. We really do a lot of awesome work, especially in the blind and visually impaired communities, but we also work with people who are diabetic, hearing impaired, deaf, otherwise disabled, sick, impoverished, poor, in need. We really like to help in the community and serve others and donate to great causes. So please check out your local Lions Club. If you're in Pittsburgh, I invite you to join me at a Robinson Lions Club meeting sometime. Just get in touch. You can email me. I would love for some of you to join me. I'm trying to get some more younger members and more females involved. And what else? Helpline, Werewolf, Autoimmune Registry, the Lions Club. You can check out if you're in the market for sunglasses or eyeglasses or readers and you like animals, you can check out Paws and Claws Eyewear. I work with them as well, and they donate a portion of proceeds to the ASPCA and the Mayor's Alliance of New York City, the Mayor's Alliance for Animals of New York City. And they're a pet-friendly organization that sells really cute eyewear and eyewear accessories. And it's always great to support these brands that give a portion back to charity, I think. My husband just got home, so my pets are freaking out. But yeah, check out my work on Helpline. I have a new book project that I'm going to be working on soon. You can also check out my other books, Sick Idiot, To Exist, and Chronically Positive. They're available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com, and my website, abshuck.com. You can also visit me at arthritisashley.com. And like I said, I will answer your other questions later. And one more thing before I go, please check out my video and blog posts about Tespo vitamins and Monk Therapeutic Air Aromatherapy diffusers, as well as doTERRA essential oil vitamins. I just wanted to give a little shout out and a plug to them. I thank you all for joining, and I thank all of you who took the time to ask a question or leave a comment. I will get back to answering the rest of them in a bit. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Be well.